Nebraska. And what a challenge year 3 is going to be for Mike Riley. And I would argue that he's already put a little bit of additional pressure on himself by firing longtime friend and defensive coordinator Mark Banker and bringing in Bob Diaco, who, by the way, Stan, becomes the highest paid assistant coach in Nebraska football history. He'll average over $800 grand in the next couple of years.
So you better have the black shirts ready to play, right? I mean, it's a big payday, and let's hope he lives up to it. But here's the challenge that they have. Their top 3 defensive guys, when it comes to tackles, are now seniors. They're moving on. Then you go to the offensive end, and all your top performers on the offensive side, starting with Tommy Armstrong, aren't there. So there's a lot of pieces that you are replacing. And again, Nebraska's another program where they cannot afford to win 3 to 5 games this year. They have to be in the mix, competing for the West and hoping to get
3 to 5. I'm not sure they can afford to win any fewer than 8.
I would agree with you. You're right. And so that's a challenge when you're replacing that much talent. We saw them in a bowl game when Tommy Armstrong wasn't there. I mean, it was a difference there. And so how do you replace that much production with Newby, your top wide receiver, again, your top 3 defensive guys? So they've got to bring a new defensive coordinator in who's going to establish a new culture, and they've got to play better on that end, at the same time replacing all that production on the offensive side. And as you mentioned, if he wins less than 8 games, that's probably going to be a problem.
And I'm not saying that this is a hot seat year. I mean, Mike Riley has been around for a long time. The AD at Nebraska, Sean Eichhorst, said he understood that this was going to be a process, but that he believed Riley was the guy to get Nebraska back to its glory days. You have a finish like you had in year 2. After the year 1 you had, I think the grace period is over. This fan base and this program wants to get back to competing for championships, and it has been a long time since Nebraska competed for a conference championship.
Remember what they said when they hired Mike Riley. 8 games a year isn't enough. I don't care what conference.
Bo Pelini fired.
That's what got Bo. So that metric of 8 is not good enough. You've got to win 9 to 10 games every year and compete for the West.
Speaking of